and knocked you out within like an hour. Probably was Benadryl. It probably was something like that. Because I
Oh,
took Benadryl
Benadryl.
too, and I used to, I took it regularly for a while back in the day, when I was younger, until they decided it wasn't good for me. But for a while, I took that every day.
All right. Well, Reveling Stills, we got you going live on YouTube now. Turning the mic over to you for Miracles Everywhere.
Okay, hey everyone, how you doing? What's going on? This is Reverend Wayne Stills for Miracles Everywhere. What's going on? Miracles are everywhere. There, wherever you are is where miracles are. And as long as you have a mind, you have miracles. You make choices to change your mind and change your point of view. As long as you have a point of view, you can change it, and that's a miracle. Changing it from ego to Christ, from pessimistic to optimistic, from can't to can. It sounds simple, but it's not necessarily simple, especially when you're in the thick of it. When you're in the thick of it, it's not nothing simple about it. If you're in a fight with somebody, you're in a battle with somebody or something. You have an enemy out there. You've had one for a long time. It's very difficult to say, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to reframe this. I'm going to look at this differently. I'm going to see this differently. It's very difficult just to do that easily. Especially in the middle of a fight, actual fight with somebody, and so suddenly stop the fight. I'm probably seeing something. I'm probably upset for a different reason than I think I am, and just to bail out of the fight. These things are not. It's easy to do practically until you practice them. That's what what practically means. To practice them, to practice, and once you get used to it, it becomes a part of your working system, and it becomes something you can't help but do. It becomes your default, and once that happens, too bad. You're doing it. That much you can do about it. And now when I look at when my father died back in 2019, it didn't hit me that way. May have hit my family. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but for me, it kicked my optimism kicked in because I am so used to. If I felt pessimistic, I allowed myself to feel the pessimism, then I let it go. I knew it was all I wanted to do was pass through. Something that I was not. I could just observe it. I know that I'm not the pessimism. And whatever's left over, I'll just allow it to be there. And you left over with some sort of optimism, some sort of optimistic perspective, some sort of beautiful spiritual insight that I was welcome. And that's the miracle. Something that's automatically expressed in your environment. I mean, that comes through a viewpoint. I have to. I can't watch the news. I can watch the news. It's fiction. Viewpoint change. I don't know. I don't meet anybody. Try to meet somebody. I fail. I'm gonna get up again. I'm gonna try again. Viewpoint change. These are the basics of life, though. How hard is that to do? That's why it's a miracle. That's why perceiving things correctly is how the course puts it almost. To have a correct perception. Real pretty use and laugh at that. How unbelievable that to have a correct perception is a miracle. Yeah, what are you gonna do? That's a miracle, a miracle. It's almost just as hard as as a divine intervention, old style. It's not much more difficult than miracles course style. To constantly expressing love, to constantly change your mind from negativity to positivity, from down to up, from left to right. Not that easy. Actually, it's a miracle. It leads to forgiveness, understanding, peace, love, all that good stuff. Now, miracles are everywhere. As long as you're there, make a choice for the good stuff. Nothing to lose. Make a choice not to beat yourself up anymore by making stupid choices. Make choices that, that express your approval of yourself and others. You want that? Or you want to be negative, or you can be positive. What's the point? Positive get you positive results. So if you interpret things positively, you'll always get positive results. That's how you're interpreting. God has positive energy. So you have one choice. You ask God for his point of view, or your point of view, which is negative. So I say go with God.
There is a point. Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. Is there a point to my act? I would say there is. I have to. The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace.
Yeah, that was first we had there was I'm spacing on his name now. There was Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks. He just arrived, and he's a very good comedian. Although he's not for a rated G audience, that's for sure. But if one night you want to check him out, he's very powerful. Political, very political. Back in I think it was the 80s, 70s or 80s, somewhere around there. He died of cancer. No one knew he was dying actually, so it was a big surprise when he came out with it. But he's a very funny guy, and it sounds like he was familiar with the Course in Miracles at the end there, because that was right on. That was spot on. Or at least he was familiar with the spirit on some level, that's for sure. Just a ride. Just type in just a ride, and if you want to see that or any of other, there's a bunch of stuff. He has a non-smokers, Brenner, weapons, aliens. He has all this stuff. They have clips of it. If I see anything else, I'll play it. Put it in. Okay, let's get to the lesson today. Let's get to today's lesson because it's a good one. Well, lesson 126. Yesterday was a great one. Also, one of my favorites yesterday, 125. We'll start with that, and then we'll okay, so I'm playing 126, and then I'll play it, and then I'll go back, and then I'll stop and go. All right, so all that I give is given to myself.
Lesson 126. All that I give is given to myself. Today's idea, completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world, is crucial to the thought reversal that this course will bring about. If you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness, certainty of goal, and sure direction. You would understand the means by which salvation comes to you and would not hesitate to use it now. Let us consider what you do believe in place of this idea. It seems to you that other people are apart from you and able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thoughts, nor yours on theirs. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them, and their appeals for help are not in any way related to your own. You further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace. When you forgive a sin, there is no gain to you directly. You give charity to one unworthy merely to point out that you are better, on a higher plane than he whom you forgive. He has not earned your charitable tolerance, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift, because his sins have lowered him beneath a true equality with you. He has no claim on your forgiveness. It holds out a gift to him, but hardly to yourself. Thus is forgiveness basically unsound, a charitable whim, benevolent yet undeserved, a gift bestowed at times, at other times withheld. Unmerited, withholding it is just, nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. The sin that you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it, and if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin. If this be true, forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. It is an eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give indulgently an undeserved reprieve. Yet it remains your right to let the sinner not escape the justified repayment for his sin. Think you the Lord of heaven would allow the world's salvation to depend on this? Would not his care for you be small indeed if your salvation rested on a whim? You do not understand forgiveness. As you see it, it is but a check upon overt attack without requiring correction in your mind. It cannot give you peace as you perceive it. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It has no power to restore your unity with him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. Not having given him the gift he asks of you, you cannot recognize his gifts and think he has not given them to you. Yet would he ask you for a gift unless it was for you? Could he be satisfied with empty gestures and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of his Son? Salvation is a better gift than this, and true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives, for giving is receiving. What remains as unreceived has not been given, but what has been given must have been received. Today we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. But the help you need is there. Give him your faith today and ask him that he share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory for the world. Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt to understand today's idea. It is the thought by which forgiveness takes its proper place in your priorities. It is the thought that will release your mind from every bar to what forgiveness means and let you realize its worth to you. In silence, close your eyes upon the world that does not understand forgiveness and seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs laid by. Repeat today's idea and ask for help in understanding what it really means. Be willing to be taught. Be glad to hear the voice of truth and healing speak to you, and you will understand the words he speaks and recognize he speaks your words to you. As often as you can, remind yourself you have a goal today, an aim which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long, but tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now, and I will trust in him. Then spend a quiet moment, opening your mind to his correction and his love. And what you hear of him you will believe, for what he gives will be received by you.
Okay, so that was today's lesson. Lesson 126. Let's get to it. Relaxing, relaxing. Relaxing, that was calms me down. All that I give is given to myself. They can be taken any way you want. They can be taken as a out of context, or at least alone, just this lesson alone, can be seen as a method for success. Success in anything. Whether it be success in just feeling better about yourself, or wealth and success and abundance. All that's okay, all that great stuff. Confidence, expression of greatness. If you understand what that means, all that I've given is given to myself. Lucidity.
Lesson 126. All that I give is given to myself. Today's idea, completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world, is crucial to the thought reversal that this course will bring about.
Well, how is it different? The ego sees the world how? It's not one with everybody else. It's separate from everyone else, right? So what does that mean? From the ego's perspective, it has to compete and push everyone out of the way. You're in the way of what I want. So get out of my way. If I have to step over you to get what I want, I'll do that. If I have to break your neck to get what I want, I'll do that. I'm gonna get something done around here. And I can't do it with you in a way. And it can't hurt me to do what if I have to do whatever I do to you, I'm not doing to me. Whatever you do to me, you're not doing to you. So it's battle.
If you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness, certainty of goal, and sure direction. You would understand the means by which salvation comes to you and would not hesitate to use it now. Let us consider what you do believe in place of this idea.
This is really the opposite of what I just said. Just obviously. If we didn't believe in separation. But we do. And now this is what we do believe. He's about to explain it much better than I did.
It seems to you that other people are apart from you and able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thoughts, nor yours on theirs. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them, and their appeals for help are not in any way related to your own. You further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace.
It says it all right there. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them. If you believe that you're separate, if you believe that that individual is over there, and I'm over here, and there's actual space between the two of us, then their appeals for help are not in any way related to mine. Your appeals for help, nothing to do with me. If you thank God, thank God, that's not happening to me. I close my eyes and just thank the Lord. Thank the Lord, He favors me. And not,
When you forgive a sin, there is no gain to you directly. You give charity to one unworthy merely to point out that you are better, on a higher plane than he whom you forgive. He has not earned your charitable tolerance, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift, because his sins have lowered him beneath a true equality with you. He has no claim on your forgiveness. It holds out a gift to him, but hardly to yourself.
if you're a quote sinner, in order to get saved, in order to be forgiven, to be forgiven, you have to make yourself lower. You have to rip out your self-esteem and throw it away. Make yourself lower yourself, prostrate yourself before God. Which must be saying, prostrate yourself before the person who's forgiving you. Prostrate yourself for the person who's forgiving you, and maybe God on God's name will forgive you. So in other words, the guy who's forgiving you is much closer to God than you, obviously, because you're the one on your knees. How convenient.
Thus is forgiveness basically unsound, a charitable whim, benevolent yet undeserved, a gift bestowed at times, at other times withheld. Unmerited, withholding it is just, nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. The sin that you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it. And if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin. If this be true, forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. It is an eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give indulgently an undeserved reprieve.
Now, you imagine if everything that happened to somebody else happened to you, happened to you. I watched a Star Trek once with Data. Was talking to Data. He's the android for those who don't know. He's an android, so he doesn't know much about humanity. I mean, he does, but he's always learning more and more and more about humanity. Because he wants to be. One of his dreams is to become human. So the Pinocchio type situation. So he's talking to Riker, and someone close to them all died, and he cannot feel anything. He has no emotions. Someone close to him died. Them all died. And they're all bummed out about it. So he doesn't really get it. He had Riker. Are you upset? And Riker goes, yes, of course I am. Why do you ask? And he said, why? He said, why back? Why? What do you mean, why? And he said, well, I mean, why do you get upset when it's upset with him and not when someone else dies? And he said, well, because we know him. We're close with him. Said, well, shouldn't we all be upset? Data says, if anyone dies, I'm going to get this clip at some point. If anyone, shouldn't we all be equally upset with the loss of life of anybody? And right here said, well, maybe if we were connected to everyone the way we should be, we'd be upset with loss of life, no matter who it was. But we're not. We're not that advanced, I suppose. And that's it's true. If we were connected to everybody the way we're supposed to be connected to everybody, the way we were, at least we are on the deepest level. If we saw each other the way we really are, and from the perspective in our context, the way we can be and could become, we reframe everything as soon as possible. We realize that our minds are just reinterpretation devices. They're interpretation devices. All they're there to interpret the environment around you. The translators, they translate the wishes of the mind and project them outside your mind. Seemingly outside your mind. They project them to the outside portion of your mind. They project it outward, so to speak. They pretend there's an outward part of the mind, and they project it out there.
Yet it remains your right to let the sinner not escape the justified repayment for his sin. Think you the Lord of heaven would allow the world's salvation to depend on this?
Good question from Jesus. He said, "Are you kidding me? You think God would be that much of a fickle God? Yeah, they treat God as though he's one of those bouncers and one of those really incredibly large dance clubs that's just sitting there admitting some people and not others based on its feel, intuition, and looks. Yeah, no, 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 not you, not you, not you, not you, not you, you. Oh, come on, not too bad. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. God's a big old bouncer. Garden heaven. Or at least he has somebody out there doing his job for him. Like St. Peter's out there, man. He ain't by him.
Would not his care for you be small indeed if your salvation rested on a whim? You do not understand forgiveness. As you see it, it is but a check upon overt attack without requiring correction in your mind. It cannot give you peace as you perceive it. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It has no power to restore your unity with him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. Not having given him the gift he asks of you, you cannot recognize his gifts and think he has not given them to you. Yet would he ask you for
Like that, he can't recognize his gifts. What does that mean to welcome in the past, to welcome the images around you, to welcome, to welcome, to welcome? What does that mean? It's just that recognize what's there. If you recognize what's really there, you recognize that everything is a gift. Everything is a present. Everything right around you, wherever you are, is a gift. Everything is the opportunity for a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful miracle. For a miracle, a wonderful reinterpretation, a wonderful reframed moment. An opportunity to take this situation and experience it as through Christ, as opposed to through the enemy. Yeah, the enemy's mind. Those are your two choices. And from whatever choice you make, puts you into whatever vibe you're gonna level that on. And each vibe has its own emotional response. The higher the vibe, the higher the response. The more spontaneous the response. The more intuitive the response. The more peaceful the response. The more passionate the response. The more adventurous the response. The more courageous the response. The more accepting the response. As you get lower and lower and lower, you move to that when you get towards misery. The more you choose the ego, the more you're choosing to lose. To lose in the game of the master, the ability to interpret the day as you would have it. You give it up to everyone else to control you. The herd, the group, who march in line with negativity. Look at the masses, see which way they're moving, and go the other way. You can be doing a lot better.
a gift unless it was for you? Could he be satisfied with empty gestures and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of his Son? Salvation is a better gift than this, and true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives, for giving is receiving. What remains as unreceived has not been given, but what has been given must have been received.
What has remained as unreceived has been given. But what has been given must have been received. I'm sorry, what remains as unreceived has not been given. What has been given, it must have been received. What's there is there, what's not there is not there. Put stuff in your environment that's not there. You see something that's there, live with that. Use that to reframe stuff. Reframing is seeing what's there, and that's it. Allow that seeing what's there to give you the next step. And what's the next step? Well, if you have fear and love, and you see a lot of fear, the next step is let go of that fear. You don't need to accept the fear into your life and become fearful and terrorized. And say, well, that's what's here. Fear wants to be conquered. That's its point. Terror wants to be conquered. That's its point. It's like this. It's like the roadmap. It's like fire. Fire lights up the path. Fire lights up the path. How do I get there? Well, follow the fire. Fire those torches over there. Follow the road that the torches are lighting up. You don't burn yourself. You don't let the whole path with it and just try to run through it and you can't set it on fire.
Today we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. But the help you need is there. Give him your faith today and ask him that he share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory for the world.
It's always just a little bit. Just do a little, and God will take care of the rest. A little willingness. It's both ways, though. A little willingness to go towards an activity, and the ego takes care of the rest. A little willingness to go towards Christ, and Christ takes care of the rest. We never have to do much at all to go down the road we want to go down. Whatever road you want, the universe will like, all right, here you go. So silver platter. You want it, you got it.
Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt to understand today's idea. It is the thought by which forgiveness takes its proper place in your priorities. It is the thought that will release your mind from every bar to what forgiveness means and let you realize its worth to you. In silence, close your eyes upon the world that does not understand forgiveness and seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs laid by. Repeat today's idea and ask for help in understanding what it really means. Be willing to be taught. Be glad to hear.
That one line is Jesus' way of saying, just as you think you understand what I just said, read it again. You see those posters where it says, read that one more time, read that again. You read the whole thing, and the last thing says, read that again. That's what he's basically saying here. Just read it again. You think you understand? Read the whole thing again, and read it again, and repeat. Let everything go you just did, and then repeat. Repeat. It's a cycle. Keep repeating. I saw a TV show once with Becker. I don't know if it was a show Becker with Ted Danson, where he was an angry doctor who's angry, frustrated, pissed off, but he's also a very good doctor. And he in a very poor neighborhood, and he helps out. So that's why you like him. But what the hell was I reading that for? I forget. So let's just move on. It sounds
hear the voice of truth and healing speak to you, and you will understand the words he speaks and recognize he speaks your words to you. As often as you can, remind yourself you have a goal today, an aim which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long, but tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now, and I will trust in him.
This is a good example, trusting in him. So many people out there have no problem remembering anything and everything. I could care less. I forgot what I was going to say. I moved on. What the hell do I care? Because I know that memory is Right now, millions, but millions, but millions, millions, but millions, but millions, and millions, and millions, and millions, and millions of people are forgetting something. I can connect with all of them on a loving level and welcome the fact that memory loss doesn't exist. And therefore, I'm healing myself with that and healing everyone that I just connected to. All the people that are eternal, the eternal moment, the collective consciousness that we all share. The collective unconsciousness, the collective consciousness, however whatever you want to call it. Every action you have has a sort of has a passageway, a pathway of eternity connected to it. I walk my dog. There's millions of people walking the dog at the same time, the same way, do the same thing, feeling the same feelings you're feeling. Connect it. Realize that, and then heal yourself. Ask God for healing. Receive some healing, and you're healing all the people that you just connected to.
Then spend a quiet moment opening your mind to his correction and his love. And what you hear of him you will believe, for what he gives will be received by you.
There's your guarantee. He's guaranteeing you. Then spend a quiet moment opening your mind to his correction and his love. And what you hear him say, you will get insights because you believe him. So you will cognate on your mind will cognate, you will have cognitions. You will say, oh yeah, now I get it. You've been more things will become clarified in your mind, and everything will become more serene and more everything. Whoa, I get it now. Giving is receiving. If I give to you, I'm getting from you. That Friends episode where Joey says there's no such thing as a selfless good deed. Why? Because you feel good. It's fine to feel good. Because you're giving it to yourself anyway. So when you give it to yourself, the other person receives, you are the other end receiving it. So feel good about that. To receive it, the opposite feeling by giving, to receive a feeling of negativity by giving, stupid. Nobody wants to receive negativity. Even people who think they're receiving, even people who are receiving negativity, for the most part, think that they're receiving positivity. Or at least they're trying to receive positivity. Most people who think they're thinking positively or negative, or receiving negativity, they think there's negativity. But people have no idea how to look at their lives. As opposed to just realizing they should just look at it. My whole life right now consists of a computer, hats, books, a lighter, in my room. Good enough. In my window, there's trees. Quiet, moveless, lifeless situation with the exception of me and that tree. Lifeless in parents, but nothing's really dead. It's all alive. Everything maintains its structure in order to help serve you. This cup of water here, this cup, maintaining its structure so it can help me quench my thirst by holding this water. Thank you, water. Thank you, glass. I'm observing this cup, and I'm realizing that this glass could maintain its structure. You can just bust open, and all the water will be everywhere. Now, I'm very well aware that this was not built the way it's not aware of itself scientifically. I couldn't care less about that. I look at this. And I thank it. Oh, let it sit there and hold on water, and you have to talk to teach it, talk to it, it knows exactly what to do. It just sits there, and not only that, it'll always sit there. It won't move. Won't play tricks on you. I watched a one of these science shows, one of these not science fiction, but one of these shows where they show science progressive scientists who have ideas about ideas that most scientists don't believe, but they believe, or they're working on multiverse stuff and stuff like that. And they told well, this the people tend to bias towards our form of life, but by non for steel and all these different forms of life that have no life as we understand it last a lot longer. And so implying that the non organic life forms like us think that we're life forms, but we're not necessarily any more life forms than an inanimate object floating through space that's been there for 20,000 years. Now, I'm not sure how if I really can comprehend that, but how could I? The ways to say why, someone said to me, "How could you kill How can you kill insects? They're alive. They're." I just said to her, I'm just way too different from that insect to care so much about the insect. I probably should, but it's an insect that's about to get into the house, and if you don't kill them, they all come more common. I don't know. It's getting in my way. It keeps buzzing in my ear, and I don't know. I'm not, but I don't feel so bad about it because it's so different than me. I can't really relate to that insect. No relation to that insect. It's like it's one step away from being, a piece of wood that's fallen off it. Now, for me, I guess maybe that's not the way to look at it. And and then when that person's around, I try not to kill any insects, and out of respect for that person. But it's just an interesting viewpoint that we are biased towards our life forms, fully biased. Breathing itself is biased. I mean, heck, look at trees. Trees are alive. There's no breathing as we understand breathing, although they do give us the ability to breathe. Thank you, thank you. You ever read the book on my Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment? It posits, well, I'll get into it too, maybe I'll read it at some point. It posits the idea that trees and space itself represent our ancestors. There's nowhere else to go but stay here, so you either find yourself as particles, mass, or energy, or space. Particle, mass, or energy, or space. What do you, so you would, then the higher you are, the more towards space you get. The lower you are, the more towards cement, and the earth you get. The more dense you get. So your ancestors are the air itself, space itself, the space between me and that tree I'm looking at. My ancestors experienced massive amounts of bliss and joy. This glass, as I pointed out, is my ancestors experiencing a miserable situation. But that's okay. As miserable as it can be, it's still maintaining its structure. This realm, simply our realm, our vibrational level, it's where we're at. We're experiencing each other. My projections are similar enough to your projections, and we bang up against each other. My dream and your dream are similar enough, but we're near each other. That's why you can hear me and I can hear you. You see me and I can see you. Not so much that we go to the movies together. And that is more saved for people that are really near you, down the block, or in the next room to you. But we're on Zoom and we're talking to each other. So our vibe is just dense enough and just spiritual enough, just light enough to put us exactly where we are. Our emotional response is what it is, and here we are in our emotional realm, and we're experiencing life exactly the way we should and can. No shame, no bad self-esteem. We're doing exactly what we're meant to do, can do, and should do. Everything everyone else has, you've had as well. No need to get out there and try to find health, wealth, and relationships. You have them all. You have all the health you need. You have all the wealth you need, and you have a relationship. If you believe the statement, all that I have is given to yourself, you will understand the means by which salvation, peace, happiness comes to you. And you use that statement to beat down negativity. You pour water over the wicked witch. I mean, the one from Wizard of Oz is not wicked. Wash your mouth away. All right, the last piece of that was Maya. So Maya by Michelle Dana. Michael Dana. 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 Michael Dana. Oh, Michael Dana. I'm not saying that again. Okay. Thanks very much, everyone. God bless you all. There's miracles everywhere. It's Reverend Wayne Still saying thank you so much. Everyone that came in here, this was listening on live stream in the room, in the Pal Talk, and on the radio. This is Wayne Stills, Reverend Wayne Stills, and ACIM Gather.us. Thanks so much. God bless. And I'll see you when I see you. Peace.
Thank you so much, Rev Wayne Stills. Bless you. And I love that music. Wonderful, wonderful talk today. I'll be listening to it later again.